last night, Scott Spiezio rekindled some old Angel magic. Spiezio with a drive deep to right field. Look at this! Angels win!
Walk-off magic is back here at Edison. And who else but Scott Spiezio?
Today from Edison Field in Anaheim, California, it's the final game of the year between the Oakland Athletics and the Anaheim Angels. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. This is Jose Mota, and Scott Spiezio was indeed the hero last night. But this is a guy who has a history of coming through in the clutch, just like we saw last year in Game 6 of the World Series.
Oh, my God. Last night was like turn back the clock, just reliving those memories and understanding the opportunity and the dramatics of the opportunity. Scott Spiezio here in Game 6. Reggie Sanders runs out of room, puts the Angels on the board, closing up the gap with the Giants. Again, last night, guys set it up for him in a special way again, being unselfish, and also Spiezio having an idea that he failed one time, but is able to deliver against his former teammates.
And the Angels were down 2 runs at that time in the 9th inning last night, and they win it by 1 because of Spiezio's heroics. Now you look at last year compared to this year, the Angels with 3 walk-off wins this year, 10 last season.
You know, you look at the postseason, 8 of 11 playoff wins last year, the postseason coming from behind, so he cannot forget that this team does want to relive those moments.
So the Angels will try and take the series, as they lost the first game of this series, won last night. Now they go against Barry Zito, and Zito's one of the best in baseball. It's Zito against the Angels next on Fox Sports Net. Fox Sports Net presents Anaheim Angels Baseball, brought to you by the Mercedes-Benz dealers of Southern California. Affordable luxury, great values. There's nothing else like a Mercedes-Benz. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. And by Aflac. Ask about it at work. The Angels will break their all-time attendance record today at Edison International Field of Anaheim. It is the final game of the year with the Oakland A's and the Anaheim Angels. And here at Edison International Field, they will go over the 2.807 million mark. 2,807,360 watched the Angels play in 1982, and that record has stood for the last 21 seasons, and today they will race by that and likely go over 3 million when the club returns to the Anaheim area next week. Here is the Volkswagen starting lineup for the Oakland Athletics. Mark Ellis will lead things off. Will be followed by Arubio Durazo, then Eric Chavez. It's Miguel Tejada batting 4th, and Scott Hatteberg, Ramon Hernandez, Jermaine Dye, Billy McMillan, and Eric Burns. Tejada's last month, he's been hot, 382 batting average, and he has hurt the Angels in this series with a grand slam home run in their 7-4 victory on Monday night. The Dodge starting pitcher for the Anaheim Angels will be young right-hander Scott Shields. He has been brilliant as a relief pitcher. He has been effective as a starting pitcher, and he wants to get right back on his winning ways after giving up 7 runs in 4 innings against Oakland last week.
Scott Shields, fastball, changeup, slider, and curve. He'll mix it in with lefties and righties, especially between the slider and the curve. Now, he needs a late movement on his fastball to set up well. Late movement that forces right-handed hitters to freeze on the outside fastball, coming inside, and also on the lefties. He throws it right at that right hip. The ball breaks in a la Greg Maddux, and they freeze too, but also stamina. One thing we need from him, just to pace himself early in the ball game to be able to go deep in the ball game.
How about the Angels defensively?
We can see the anchor, Garrett Anderson on left, Figgins in center field, Owens in right. Meziga back to third with a nice play last night. Eckstein at short, Kennedy steady at second, Spiezio himself at first. Jose Molina back behind the thumb.
Here is the first pitch of the ball game by Scott Shields. Fastball, strike 1 to Mark Ellis. Ellis 2 for 14 on this road trip. Batting average has slipped to 251, and they'll need more for Mark Ellis come the playoff times, because Even though Oakland saw their 7-game win streak snap with last night's 6-5 loss, they did not lose any ground in the American League West race because Seattle was losing 10-5 to the Texas Rangers. Oakland at 91-61, 30 games over 500. With a 4.5-game lead over Seattle in the American League West. The Angels at 72-80, 19 games back of Oakland. They're eliminated, but Ken Marcus feared this series because he said the Angels all year long, even with all the injuries, they will compete and work you into the last out. We saw that last night. Ellis will take strike 3 as Shields starts well, striking out the leadoff man, Mark Ellis.
You know, to strike out Mark Ellis really has to have some movement. He can sit on the fastball. I love the way this thing runs. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Just breaking from the outside pad into the middle. Not a bad pitch to hit, but at the same time, where it started was the main key for Scotty Shields.
Shields, a 28-year-old right-hander from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We told you his strength, 7.20 earned run average the last 5 starts as a relief pitcher this year, a 2.58 ERA, not only this year but in his career. So he has much better numbers as a relief pitcher than he does as a starter, and yet he's trying to prove himself that he can be part of that mix next year as a starter. Rubio Durazo quickly down in the count, 0-2. Still Durazo, a 347 average his last 12 to raise that batting average near 260. And he'll take on the outside 1-2. Inside corner, and Shields has back-to-back strikeouts of Ellis and Durazo, and both looking.
This is the Scotty Shields that we saw so much in relief. Now, look at Durazo's front hip moving out, but that late movement takes care of it. That's the way you set up hitters, by showing them a couple of different fastballs with movement late in the strike zone. That's what he needs. You know, one thing he's told me about starting and relieving, he told me, Jose, I really miss coming to the ballpark and knowing that I could pitch that day. He goes, as a reliever, that is my mindset, but as a starter, I have a routine now. After start, I got my bullpen a couple days later. I got to do weights. I got to run. So I know I'm not going to pitch for 4 days. He goes, that's been a little bit hard on me.
I'll bet. Well, he gets another strike at the outside corner. Wow, he is just throwing it. Now, virtual manager question on Fox Sports. Vote now at foxsports.com. If Scott Shields, is he better suited to be a starter or a reliever? Go online and you can give your answer. We'll give the answer as well later in the ball game. But Mike Scioscia, he asked when Scott Shields first started starting. He said a couple of questions Scott has to answer are, is he going to have the command to pitch deep enough into games as a starter, and 2, start to start, and 7, 8 starts from now, where is his stuff? Has he maintained his stuff?
That's one of the biggest adjustments. When relieving, even if you're long relief, he's gone out and thrown as many as 70-some pitches in relief. But he knows one thing. At some point, I'm out of there. At some point, they're going to bring me in. You can go out there, and sometimes even in long relief, the most important outs you're going to make are the first 2 or 3 outs. After that, you pace yourself and say, okay, I got that done, got my team out of a jam. I need to now maintain. And that is a mentality, though, that he took into long relief, because you also think about, well, my guys in the bullpen, I got to give them a little rest also.
Chavez to center field. Sean Figgins is there, makes the catch. A comfortable inning in the first with Scott Shields. 1, 2, 3 go the A's, and it's time for Barry Zito. And the Angels' final game of this series, and there's last night's hero, Scott Spiezio. He will again bat 5th. Eckstein, Figgins, Anderson, Salmon. Scott with 5 walk-off hits in 4 years with the Angels. Mr. Clutch. Eric Owens bats 6th, and Adam Kennedy, Jose Molina, and Alfredo Amizaga round out the Volkswagen starting lineup. The Dodge starting pitcher for the Oakland Athletics, it's Barry Zito, the outstanding left-hander. He was the Cy Young winner last year, winning 23 games. This year, though, 12-12. Up high to David Eckstein, and he takes ball 2, and that's been part of the problem for Barry, is the high number of walks.
Fastball, changeup, big rainbow curve. He shows his slider to lefties, but watch out with that changeup. That's a secret weapon. You know, he sits so much on that curveball. Before you know it, he's got you thinking curveball again. You give up on the changeup, he's got you. He can paint with that changeup in the outer half.
He gets another fastball in there to David Eckstein, and David fouls it off the right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. This is Zito's 33rd start of the year. And then Eckstein rolls one to Tejada. 1 out.
Good David Eckstein coming to the box right here. He slips, falls down. Their shortstop sees that. With another shortstop, he's going to take a little bit more time. I mean, there's no giving up in David Eckstein because still Tejada could make a bad throw. It goes over to first, but a little soft right there in that home plate area. Umpire Brian Runge doing a little grooming out there too.
You see Tim Salmon, he spotted a butterfly or a moth on the top of his cap. Dusted it off for him. Now Sean Figgins, .310 batting average, still looking for his first big league home run. They'll take high from Barry Zito. Just about everybody has been working both David Eckstein and Sean Figgins up in that strike zone to get them to lift the ball in the air, keep it off the ground where they can make their wheels work, and Figgins pops it up to Hatterberg for the 2nd out.
A's defense, McMillan today in left field. In center field, Eric Burns, Jermaine Dye right. Chavez at third, Tejada at short. Mark Hill is at second. Scott Hatterberg at first base. Ramon Hernandez averaging 136 games caught in the last 4 years. That leads the American League. He is a workhorse.
And what's so impressive in that, his offensive numbers have been much better. In the month of September, you think a guy who's caught so many games would be exhausted by now, but Hernandez has gotten better. Good curveball to Garrett Anderson for strike 1, and G8 takes another strike. 2 softies in the first 2 offerings from Zito to Anderson. He's had a good series, 5 for 8. A couple of doubles and 4 runs scored.
A little different body language by Garrett Anderson. When he sees the curveball twice, he stays with a little bit longer on that last pitch.
Garrett swings and misses, and Zito has a strikeout and ends the first inning. We head to the 2nd inning. We'll see Miguel Tejada coming up. Scott Shields threw a shutout first inning. Now he'll work against the Oakland lineup that is Miguel Tejada, Scott Hatterberg, and Ramon Hernandez. Oakland won game 1 of this series. The Angels came back with a dramatic 9th inning game winner, and Scott Spezio's 3-run home run. Scott Shields finished the first inning with 7 straight strikes, and now he's thrown his 8th in a row to Miguel Tejada. Tejada takes inside. That's the first that Scott has missed, but we are seeing a different Shields with the movement of his fastball than we saw at Oakland last week, Jose.
Yes, we are. He's finishing off much better. Pointing right to that strike zone where he wants him, not shortening his arms with the pitches, which will help him to take some stress off that shoulder.
He has quickly jumped in front of Miguel Tejada, 1 and 2. And now throws low and away. Tejada checks his swing in time. It'll go 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miguel still looking for his first base hit ever against Scott Shields. 0 for 9.
Is it another Washburn starting Miguel? Maybe Miguel doesn't want to see him in the starting rotation.
Ground ball. There's the first hit. And this could be 2 bases. Figgins races for it. Tejada charging to second base. He'll make it easily with a leadoff double.
And again, Steve, maybe he does want to see him in the starting rotation.
There you go.
Cabo is really smoked. I mean, almost one-handed. He hits this ball to the left of the shortstop and is able, because he's so powerful, to get 2 bases out of this. Look at this. He's reaching out, and look at where Sean Figgins was playing. Nice effort by David Eckstein, and you still read the outfielder. You see his back going there? Well, when you're running first base, you also keep going, because it's going to take too much recovery time to throw you out at second base.
So Tejada at second base with his 40th double this year. That's already 7 more than his previous career high. And here goes Hatterberg deep into the corner. This will get Tejada home, and Oakland will take the early 1-0 lead. Owens got tied up in the corner, but Hatterberg will stop at second base as he drives in his 59th run this year.
Well, we mentioned how good the A's are at trying to move runners. Hatterberg has done it twice this series, just getting a guy over from second to third with a ground ball. Now he sees a good pitch to hit, gets right on top of that, uses that top end real well. And a double purpose here, getting the guy in, not just over, getting the RBI and getting himself now in scoring position.
Shields struck out 2 in the first inning as he breezed through the A's. A little different story to open the second inning with back-to-back doubles.
What happens is you see Tejada in the dugout. He knows the effort by his teammates. And now Ramon Hernandez's first swing, guess what he's trying to do? Trying to go the other way with some authority. It's almost like, let's copy the guy before me because it's working.
That one gets away from Jose Molina. That will get Hatterberg to third base. And the Angels have not started this second inning well. 2 doubles. Now a wild pitch.
Here's a ball that probably cut a little bit more than Jose Molina thought. We might have gotten crossed up in that situation. We didn't see his body get in front of this one for some reason.
So the Angels will bring their infield in. Corners, actually, Amezaga back at third base. And now Eckstein backs up, and so does Kennedy. They're about halfway on the Keystone.
Because of Hatterberg, that's the key for this. If it's a faster runner, then Mike Scioscia feels more pressure into, you know what, maybe they won't wait for the ball to get through, but the infielders get a nice view of Hatterberg, not a speedy guy over at third base. They can take their time, and again, he could be on contact play.
He rips one down the line, foul. Stay 1-2.
And then Hatterberg has another responsibility, which is to see where is Alfredo Amezaga and how far do I want to get off here at third base. Again, he doesn't want to get doubled up in any situation where Amezaga feels a line drive close to third base.
Ground ball third. Amezaga knocks it down. They have to hold. Amezaga's throw is in time. So the Angels get the first out of the second inning.
Just sacrifice that body, Alfredo. He knows what it takes out there. And you know what? Amezaga is perfectly situated right here. He's not anticipating anything but contact, okay? He sees contact, find the ball first, get your body in front of it. Little bit of a tricky hop. He knows Hatterberg is not going to run, not a threat to run. Takes care of the guy at first base. Well done. Goes after that ball with a bare hand immediately. Great message for the youngsters. You bobble a ball in the infield, don't try to find it with your glove. And trust me, I did many a times. Find it with my glove, and it slipped out again.
Jermaine Dye hopes he can get that run home from third base to lift the ball, and that can be difficult with the sinker slider that Scott Shields has to offer. 174 batting average, but Dye has suffered so many injuries this year. And last, there's a ground ball. Amezaga. He looks and tries to tag the runner, now throws to third. Spezia comes off the bag as they record the second out, and Amezaga almost got a nifty double play, but he gets one and holds Hatterberg at third.
That's just tremendous instinct. In that situation, he saw Hatterberg creeping a little bit more than previously, so he goes after him. The most surprised guy in the world is Scotty Hatterberg, but he has the presence of mind to understand who's running. Also, what he has going into first base, because he is a shortstop, he's used to making those plays, rounding the ball and coming around and throwing off balance.
Now the Angels have to finish off this job as Billy McMillan steps to the plate. Billy playing for Terrence Long. Long in a terrible slump. His number is 135 batting average the last month of the season. So McMillan, who's had the Angels number this year with 4 of his 6 home runs this year against Anaheim. He'll take 2 balls and no strikes.
McMillan is a guy that he starts with an open stance. He has that right foot pointing towards the first baseline. And his first movement has to be into the pitch, so you can easily try to get him also in the inside half.
Good swing on that Shields offering. The fastball that reached 89 miles an hour. Fouled straight back, though. He was on the pitch.
I say easily, but trust me, it's not that easy. But you got to set him up to think, hey, if he has to make this stride this way, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to keep it right under his elbows.
Two and two. Shields has gone fastball with Billy McMillan. Jose wants him to shake.
Here it is. He wants an inside fastball up in the zone.
Misses just inside.
That's a good pitch right there.
Will it set up away then?
Here it is. He's diving in. Late reaction. If that is anything lower, he's still taking that pitch and it's strike three.
If you run that fastball away?
Right now, I'll go right back in there.
Okay. Scott does have that ability to run the fastball where it looks like it's going to be a ball and then comes back into the strike zone. It is so tough to hit. Now they'll set up away and they will run the fastball away, and Kennedy has it go just past his glove, and a clutch 2-out base hit by Oakland. The throw by Figgins. McMillan's in with a double, the third double by Oakland in the inning.
That's just good hitting, but it looks like McMillan must have jammed his left hand over there on the bag with his aggressive base running, going from home to second. The whole time he thought this is going to be a double. I know where Figgins is playing once again, even though it's another hard hit ball through the infield. Now the main concern is McMillan's health, and he keeps hurting the Angels. See him going head first into second base and hitting the bag with his fingers.
Well, the Oakland A's have already lost an outfielder, Jose Guillen, because of a left wrist that was broken on Sunday. You can see how hard he slammed into the bag and actually came off the bag and called time here.
He immediately called timeout. Talking about Jose Guillen, how they lost him, and the depth that it means to have a guy like Billy McMillan. And today he doesn't have Terrence Long in there against the righty, but he also understands that this guy has done some damage, continues to hurt the Angels in many ways with some clutch hits.
He has their number. It seemed like Shields was going to get a jam after getting 2 ground outs from Ramon Hernandez and Jermaine Dye. Now McMillan will stay in the game after he slammed into that bag, but Guillen breaking the hamate bone in his left wrist, likely done for the year. But remember, Darren Erstad may have broken a hamate bone and played the last 4 games of the World Series last year. It's very painful.
Including that home run against Tim Morrell.
Well,
he is closer too.
I think the key to Mr. Erstad is that,
you know, if
he doesn't really talk about his pain and doesn't tell anybody.
And right now, you know,
going to go for an X-ray.
With McMillan right now, if he's not sure, you just better just take him out of the ball game, get him X-ray, get him taken care of. But that's the second time McMillan calls in for his manager to come out. So this is the second time he convinces his manager, I want to stay in here.
Well, he'll be icing that on the flight back home to Oakland.
One thing I did notice is he was sliding into second base. He wasn't just reaching for the bag, he was going through the bag practically. But Steve, his fingers were still level with the ground. In other words, if you're going to go head first through the bag, somehow get those fingers up and try to use more of the palm of your hand.
That's why Scott Spiezio runs with the gloves in each hand, so he doesn't open up his hands and goes in with hard with the fist. Eric Burns now the batter, and Burns takes a strike on the outside corner. 2 runs in the inning for Oakland on 3 doubles. Tejada, Hatteberg, and now McMillan. But Oakland had a 2-run lead twice last night, and the Angels would come back to win 6-5 in the 9th inning. And Scott Spiezio's dramatic 3-run home run. Burns hits it well left field in the corner. Right, it is foul. All of a sudden, Shields getting the ball up in the strike zone. Don't miss your chance to be part of Union 76 Kids Day with the Angels at Edison Field on Saturday, September 27th. Enter to win at participating Orange County Union 76 locations on select dates throughout the month of September. Visit angelsbaseball.com for dates and locations. Eric Burns down in the count, 0-2. Down low. The A's at 91-61 have the second best record in the American League and fourth best in baseball. How about this? They have reached the 90-win plateau for the fourth straight season. They have just been flat good. Pitching has been their key. There's a strike and Burns is out. So are the A's, but they scored 2 runs in the second off Shields. 3 doubles in the inning, and the last 2 drove in runs. One by Hatteberg, one by McMillan. Oakland's up by 2. Barry Zito has himself a 2-0 lead over the Angels, and he set the Angels down in order. Now he'll face the right-handed swinging Tim Salmon, who's had a good series with 3 hits, including a home run. Throws first pitch fastball to Tim, high, ball 1. Salmon with a 5-game hit streak to raise that average to 268. In there, 1-1. Salmon drove in 3 runs on Monday, the first time with more than 2 in a game since July 5th when he had 4 at Oakland. But that's the team he's been chewing up this year. 8 of his 17 home runs are against this one ball club. Zito with the fastball in and up on Tim Salmon where he can't do much with it, and got it in on his hands and pops up to Mark Ellis. Fox Sports Net presents Anaheim Angels baseball, brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. By Corona and Corona Light, official sponsors of the Timeout. Grab a cold Corona, squeeze a lime, sit back and chill. And by Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab it by the horns. Dodge. Steve Physiak, Jose Mota with you at Edison International Field of Anaheim. The Angels have 6 more home games after today. They go to Texas for a 3-game road trip, then come home to finish off 3 with Seattle, 3 with Texas next week. Scott Spezia trying to dump one to right field, and Ellis goes back and makes the running catch. So last night's hero is the second man out in the second inning. 2 pop-ups. The Angels to Mark Ellis. Well, you see the crowd, and just looking at the crowd today, Jose, they're going to break the record. The 1982 mark will fall.
It couldn't have happened on a most beautiful day here in California. Pick a day. I mean, when you're going to break the attendance record, it's been standing for so long. California written all over it.
Eric Owens will step to the plate. They only needed 12,370 to break the record, so our Bank of America higher standards show they'll get it today, because we have over 20,000 here this afternoon on a sun-drenched afternoon. And what's interesting is this ballpark only holds 43,000. Perfect baseball facility. In '82 it held up to 63,000 fans. So that's doing something, and Orange County support has been incredible. There's a pop-up foul and a bunt try by Owens.
They're going to call him out of the batter's box.
Ran out of the batter's box. And Mike Scioscia will come in for the argument with home plate umpire Brian Runge, but he will lose this as the A's already off the field with the final out.
This is the fine line right there where you cannot step out. It's like taking a swing and being out of the batter's box, but right there, Brian Runge considers E.O. was way out of it. I mean, he called that very early. He's the second guy that tries to bunt. You see that front foot way out there.
Well, he spotted it right away.
He's trying to get it. He's trying to get it right here. To get it by Zito and get it by the first baseman. Just a little anticipation right here.
Is his foot down, though? His foot was still up when he landed, before he landed. So Owens out, so are the Angels. 2-0 A's going to the third. Mark Ellis is the first man out in the third inning as he grounds out to Alfredo Amezaga.
It's a nice little sinker. You got Amezaga playing in, looking for the bunt, stays right with it, working down up with those hands, securing the ball, making the throw to first base. He's been busy out there today.
Durazo takes one right down the middle for strike one. Durazo struck out looking his first time up.
Steve, there's some days you're playing third base and you're not really a third baseman. You have zero action. I mean, there's like today where you get a ground ball early in the game, you get into that nice flow, and then you want everything to be hit to you. And now Scott Shields, if he's going to be using that sinker well, Alfredo Amezaga and David Eckstein know against right-handed batters, got to be very aware.
Durazo hits it in the air right field. Eric Owens calls off Sean Figgins and makes the catch for the second out. Let's go back to that last inning call when home plate umpire Brian Runge called Eric Owens out, being out of the box.
Here's the ball, but also look at the foot. It's not still down. So umpire Brian Runge, he's back here. He can't really see where the foot has landed or whether the foot has landed or not. So it makes for a tough call. He sees the body leaning forward too much in front of the catcher. He says he's out of the box.
Eric Chavez now comes to the plate. Eric and Tejada have been their offensive story in the second half of the season, both hitting over 300 since the All-Star break. And the A's playing very, very well since the All-Star break. They were 22-7 after the break. I'm sorry, 37-21 after the All-Star break before losing last night. Boy, Shields goes up in the strike zone, and that's one of the worst swings I've seen Eric take in more than a week. It's so hot. Shields is now thrown 47 pitches. And he gets Chavez to pop up. So after being roughed up for 2 runs in the second inning, he comes back and pitched very well, getting the A's in order in the third. Now the Angels, the NFL returns to Fox on Sunday, beginning with America's #1 pregame show as JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy get you ready for NFL kickoff 2003. Then the Buccaneers visit Atlanta for an NFC South showdown between 2 teams trying to get back on the winning track. Coverage begins Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. The biggest stories are in the NFC, and the NFC is on Fox.
Well, Steve, the Michael Vick countdown is on, buddy. How many more weeks? Maybe 3?
I think just 3 more weeks. About Tampa Bay losing last week to Carolina. That was a surprise. And an even bigger surprise to our producer, Jerry Weinstein.
It's one of those losses where you go, yeah, which team are we? You know what? It doesn't hurt sometimes to lose those early and tell yourself, we need to work a little harder. Not that they don't. John Gordon's not going to allow that. But hey, time to recover again and put it together. Put a nice roll in. By the way, that was my team last year. You could ask Ivan.
You picked them at the beginning of the season?
Tampa Bay. You better believe it.
Jose Molina will lead things off. Molina pops it up, shallow left field. Tejada still drifting, and did he make the catch? Oh, what a catch by Tejada. He bobbled it, still had his wherewithal to recover and make a wonderful catch.
Well, you know, when you play with guys like Miguel Tejada as an outfielder, you know he's fairly aggressive. Long as having trouble, Tejada picks up his outfielder, stays right with the ball. I mean, just like an NFL receiver staying with that football. Look at this. He knows Long is having trouble. He knows I have to be a little bit more aggressive, which causes his feet to get out of control a little bit, but not the ball. Just like a baby, man, hugging that.
Sure is. What a play by Tejada. He has such great hands. You know, the same way, I mean, you walk up to Miguel and you think, how can this guy hit the ball this far? He's only 5 feet 10 inches tall. And then you shake his hand and he has muscles in his fingertips, it seems like. Just a strong hand.
You know, for the last 3 years, he has been playing in winter ball in the Dominican. Even after he won the MVP, he was playing winter ball.
Loves to play.
He loves to play. The people just adore this kid.
Alfredo Amezaga. 1-2. Amezaga at 347 at Salt Lake City. He's taking some adjusting in the major leagues, only batting 151. Got off to a miserable start. He was called up for his final time. It's 3 for 37. That'll get into his self-esteem. Amezaga will strike out. Second strikeout by Zito in the game, and Zito is through 3 perfect innings against the Angels. Oakland has a 2-0 lead over the Angels. Here's our Aflac trivia question. Garrett Anderson leads the Angels in batting average, home runs, RBIs this year. Who are the only 3 players ever to win the Angels Triple Crown? We'll give you the answer later in the ball game. Well, the last guy to do it was one of Garrett's mentors. That's the only hint I will give you. Really felt that gentleman helped break him into the game. Miguel Tejada continued his hit streak to 9 consecutive games with a leadoff double in the second inning off Shields, and the result would be Tejada coming around to score the first of Oakland's 2 runs. Both scored in that second inning. Our Bank of America higher standards on Miguel Tejada. Second to A-Rod in home runs by a shortstop for the 4th straight year. And it's very interesting when you talk about the great shortstops in the American League. Everybody always seems to stop with A-Rod, Jeter, and Garcia Parra, but this guy is right there.
Who's the only one who's won an MVP?
Miguel Tejada last year.
Yes, sir.
Got my vote. I thought he was so responsible for their winning 103 games, for winning the West. I don't think anybody was more valuable to his team than Tejada was, both offensively, defensively, and in the clubhouse.
Inspirational leader all the way. He wants to be involved.
Up the middle. Eckstein has it. Nice play by David. We asked that virtual manager question earlier today about Scott Shields. Should Shields be a starting pitcher or reliever? 75% say a starter, 25% say reliever. How about you?
Well done. Well, you know what I'm looking at? They like his aggressiveness. They think he has the stuff. And also, they think he has time. And I think the auditioning of Scott Shields during this season, he doesn't have to go in spring training thinking, hey, if they're going to keep me as a starter, I don't have to audition in spring training with my 20 or 25 innings. I can do it here during the season.
Adam Kennedy. Oh, he gets better and better at that play. He makes it look easy. 2 outs. I will say this, Jose, and this is very selfishly, because I think Shields in the bullpen, you win championships, because he's a guy who shortens the game dramatically because he can pitch 1 inning or 3 innings. I mean, look at the bullpen. Donnelly, Weber, Rodriguez, Turnbow, Percival, Shields. We're not even getting to any left-hander that they'll likely pick up in the offseason. Did I leave anybody out? That's pretty good muscle right there.
That is pretty good stuff right there. Weber with a different style. Sean-wise was in the bullpen to begin the year.
Sean Figgins will take care of this. Cruz is under it. Hernandez is out. We're at 3.5. 2-0 A's. 2-0. Oakland has the lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and our Aflac trivia question about Garrett Anderson. He leads the Angels in batting average, home runs, and RBIs this year. Who are the only 3 players ever to win the Angels Triple Crown? Rick Reichert, 1968, Wally Joyner in 87, and Chili Davis, a mentor to Garrett Anderson when he broke into the big leagues in 1995.
So you said one of the guys was a mentor. I see.
Doesn't happen often, but Garrett Anderson is doing it all year long, and if the Angels were winning, he'd be one of the leading candidates for Most Valuable Player of the Year award. And the consensus is, around baseball, the scouts that we talk to, the Angels will indeed be back next year. That they have so much talent, so much young talent. Chavez. Oh, she's good. Eckstein is out at first base.
Tell you what, if Tejada does not, or if Chavez does not cut that ball off, that is a base hit. But look, he knows how far he can go because he's playing in. He spins and throws. The ball gets a little bit away from it. And also the adjustment that David Exxon instinctively saying, I cannot go through that bag or I'm going to collide against Scotty Hatterberg. Let me try to go inside. Maybe he'll miss the tag.
Sean Figgins, as Barry Zito has faced 10 batters, retired all 10. He has a perfect game now in the 4th. Eckstein, he's fortunate not to have injured himself. It's been his problem this year. The ball's popped up. It's the catcher Hernandez. 11 in a row for Barry Zito. Coming up tonight, it's the Southern California Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to the home teams throughout Southern California. And tonight we'll have a report and analysis on this ball game, Angels A's final game of the season. USC gives Booty a shot and lingerie bowl party. I'm going to check out that Booty at quarterback because Pete Carroll told us last week that he would give John David Booty a few more snaps this week. They wanted to really take advantage of the off week as USC prepares for Cal next week, and that's a game that you can watch on Fox Sports Net. It'll be USC and Cal's first conference game.
Well, we talked about MVPs and what it means to your ball club. Kirk Gibson in 1988. Listen to these numbers. He was the MVP. 290, 25 homers, 76 RBI.
And he won the MVP. Barry Zito could have been the MVP just on his pitching last year. Right now he's pitching a gem against the Halos. Then but zeros for Barry Zito through 4. Oakland with a 2-0 lead. Both runs came in the 2nd inning. And now Scott Shields back to work against Jermaine Dye, Billy McMillan, and Eric Burns here in the 5th. Dye grounded out his first time up. A little bit low, 1-1. Jermaine Dye had some great years with Kansas City, then injuries with the Oakland Athletics. Started with breaking his leg in the playoffs against the Yankees, fouling the ball off his shin, and he just has not been able to stay healthy since. This year, shoulder separation and a collision with the Angels' Benji Molina. He's come back from the disabled list and hit just .222 since. He's missed 96 games though, and there's a smash to the third baseman, and Amezaga has his 4th assist in this game. Fox Sports Net presents Anaheim Angels baseball, brought to you by Nextel. Now with a coast-to-coast walkie-talkie built right in. Now that's a walkie-talkie by Volkswagen. Visit your favorite Southern California Volkswagen dealer today. By Quiznos. Try Quiznos' new Philly cheesesteak. Toasty. Welcome back to Edison International Field of Anaheim. The Angels going over the 2.8 million mark in this ball game. They only needed 12,370 to break the 1982 record, and they've done that. Here's Terrence Long batting for the first time in this game. When Terrence Long came on for Billy McMillan, remember when Billy did a headfirst slide into second base, he jammed his left hand, and he stayed in the game to finish the inning, but then came out for T. Long. Long has been struggling and grounds out here. There's Spezio. Shields covering. 2 out. College football presented by Kyocera returns to Fox Sports Net Saturday with a doubleheader. First, the Marshall Thundering Herd are thinking upset when they take on 6th-ranked Kansas State. It's not going to happen. Then Illinois State takes on in-state rival Eastern Illinois with bragging rights on the line. College football returns Saturday at 9:30 Pacific right here on Fox Sports Net. Check local listings at foxsports.com for the start time in your area. Burns chopping it foul. Strike 1. Eric Burns struck out looking his first time up. Burns from Northern California, grew up in Mountain View and grew up a Giants fan. He's now 27 years old. When he left Mountain View, he came down to UCLA where he played a little college baseball with Troy Gloss. Got off to that spectacular start this year, but when the A's were playing at Pac-Bell Park against the Giants in interleague play, he said a lot of his family and friends were pulling for the Giants, and they were even booing him when he got up to the plate. They with their tongue in cheek, but still, he said he got cracked up about it.
So how about having one of the best games in your life at Pac-Bell?
He showed his family and friends, didn't he, getting that cycle?
Yes, he did. Since then, though, he's only had one home run.
Hitting under 140 since June 29th when he had his career day. And he sends that one. Amezica backhands, throws, and got a nice play by Alfredo.
Nice play. Shortstop always goes to the shortstop. Long throw. Got it.
Nothing but zeros for Barry. Zito threw 4. A perfect game. He's faced the minimum 12. He'll start things with Tim Salmon and throw him a great breaking ball in the outside corner for strike 1. Salmon has a 5-game hit streak going. Popped up to second base his first time up. Bounces in the dirt. Zito, coming into this inning in 4 innings, had only thrown 36 pitches. That's a remarkably low total for 4.
And he has made them all count. His changeup, his slider, his curveball, and the well-spotted fastball. Everything's around the zone right now.
Off speed, misses outside, 2-1, a rare 2-1 count. He threw 9 pitches in the second, 7 in the third, 8 in the fourth. Comes fastball. Tejada. 1 out. Well, if you're going to reach perfection or even a no-hitter, you've got to make plays behind the great pitcher. And the 2 defensive plays, one by Tejada, one by Chavez.
Yes, he does. Look at him at that ball. If that ball gets through right here, it's going to be a difficult play for the shortstop. Also, nice footwork over there at first base by Scotty Henneberg.
Chavez, who's won a couple of Gold Gloves in his past. Zito now tries to drop a breaker into Scott Spezio. No Angel has even hit a ball fair in this game. I mean, we've seen pop-ups, strikeouts, fair to the outfield. Good breaking ball. I mean, wow, that was one of those yellow hammers.
Little rainbow. You can see a lot of. We got some F3s foul, F4s, a couple of those. A couple of foul balls to the catcher. Fly balls to Tejada. So the outfielders right now just kind of holding their ground back there. Jermaine Dye looking down a little bit. Eric Burns taking his time. Terrence Long had a little problem with the fly ball, gave in to Tejada, so nobody's caught one back there yet.
Doesn't look like he wants to throw Scott Spezio a fastball. He's gone mainly curveball or off speed, and now the count's full 3-2. Zito has walked 82 this year, a rather high total for him, and he'll come off speed and get Spezio on strike 3. He didn't give in.
He can go fastball, curveball, slider, but also, how about this changeup? Spezio's body well committed. He was ready to turn on something, but it makes the outer half, turning that ball over and getting that nice frame job right there by Hernandez.
Zito's really been strong. I mean, you're talking about a guy who won the Cy Young last year, going 23-5, and then come back this year and go 12-12 for the season. What's interesting, no Oakland pitcher has ever won the Cy Young Award one year and followed it up with a winning season in an Oakland uniform the next year. It's a remarkable figure because we're talking about great pitchers in Oakland lore. Owens takes another strike. Vida Blue went 6-10 in 1972. Bob Welch went 12-13 in 1991, and Dennis Eckersley went 2-4 in 1993. Breaking ball misses. Catfish Hunter went 23-14 in 1975 following a Cy Young season, but he was playing for the New York Yankees after that year. Zito 23-5 last year, 12-12 this year. Go figure. Owens punches one to the right side, and this is 5 perfect innings for Barry Zito. He dropped the baseball but held onto it long enough, and when you've got a perfect game going, you should get the calls from the umpire, but Zito held it long enough. He thought Hatterberg was going to take it.
Little hesitation right there by Scott Hatterberg, almost cost him the runner right here. He's going to take it, then he says, oh no, he's close enough, but he didn't have the angle, but ultimately he got there on time.
And he just dropped the ball. Barry Zito with the towel over his head, pitching beautifully. He has thrown 5 perfect innings against the Angels. Mark Ellis comes up, hits a fly ball to center field that Sean Figgins will run down for the first out of the 6th inning.
Like that, being economical right here. He's done a nice job. If he can get 1 inning or 2 more outs out of Scott Shields, I think is a tremendous step as to where he was. See why you need to anticipate all the time that you're going to get that out at first. Zito was not ready for that. He was not ready because the angle he took towards first base is not ideal. He wanted to be a little closer to the bag to take this angle right here. Almost cost him there. It could have been a base hit.
And on the exchange from glove to hand is when Barry Zito dropped the baseball. So a correct call by first base umpire Brian Gorman. It was an out. Brian Runge's at home plate. Brian Gorman first base. Ed Montague crew chief at second. Bruce Dreckman at third. And now Shields throws a very nice off-speed pitch to Rubio Durazo to get strike 2. And you know, Shields has now thrown first pitch strikes to 17 of the 20 Oakland A's that he's faced in this game.
Well, bingo. There's a connection. You look at the scoreboard. 3 hits allowed, 2 runs in the 2nd inning. That's it. Getting hitters behind the count. Oakland A's will take a lot of pitches. They love those 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 counts.
Durazo then swings and misses, and Shields has his 4th strikeout of the game.
And that's what you get them to do. Once you're around the zone, you get the reputation, you get in the hitter's mind that he's aggressive throwing strikes, he's not backing off, then you get the hitters to spread the strike zone a little bit more, just like Durazo just did.
So Scott Shields, 5 2/3 innings of strong baseball, 3 hits allowed and 2 runs. And here comes Eric Chavez, who is 0 for 2 with a fly out and pop up. Only 3 hits allowed by Shields, no hits, no walks, no base runners allowed by Barry Zito through 5. Outside, 2-0. Scott Shields grew up in Fort Lauderdale. Played in a very bad high school baseball team, so really was not looked at. Ground ball foul. And only became a pitcher when he went to Broward Community College.
And also remember, he went to Broward and tried out the first day as a shortstop and as a pitcher. And the coach said, I'll keep you, but as a pitcher if you want to continue playing baseball on my team.
He was a late bloomer. Fouled off. He's one of those guys who he told me he was 5 feet 1 inches tall and only 100 pounds as a freshman in high school. How many times did you see that? Bud Black said he and his buddy were the 2 smallest athletes on their baseball team, and they were the only guys after their senior year that were drafted to play professional baseball. They just grew up late. Chavez drills one in the alley right center field. Owens races for it and comes up with a baseball, but Eric has himself a 2-out, 2-base hit.
4 hits, 4 doubles today for the Oakland A's. This is a big one coming with 2 outs. It seems like every ball they've hit hard has been to the right or left of one of the outfielders, not necessarily in the gaps, and he really got on top of this one really good. Eric Owens knows the aggressiveness they've shown in the bases today, wants to cut that off, maybe not allowing Chavez to think about going to third base. And it's not that many times you see an outfielder diving after a ground ball.
For Eric Owens, every time. He likes to get dirty. Shields, meantime, had retired 12 straight A's. All 4 hits for Oakland have been doubles. Here's the guy who started the trouble back in the 2nd inning. Doubling, coming around to score, and Scott Hatterberg's double. Tejada hits it in the air. Anderson backing up. pulls it down for the final out. It's Barry Zito time. He's thrown 5 perfect innings here at Edison. Will it continue? We'll find out. Barry Zito has a no-hitter and a perfect game through 5, and our Hyundai leaders show Oakland's no-hitters in their history. Catfish Hunter had a perfect game in 1968. Vida Blue 1970 no-hitter. 4 pitchers threw a no-hitter in 75. Mike Warren in 83, and Dave Stewart the last against Toronto in 1990. Stewart's was on that day where they had 2 no-hitters in the same day. Stewart's was followed by Fernando Valenzuela. So even then he couldn't get all the attention. He had to share it in big league history.
Now as a hitter, Adam Kennedy knows one thing too. You want to be aggressive, but he has a tendency of getting wild. 2nd most walks in the American League. That tells you something.
3-0. Zito with a rare 3-0 count in this game. He has walked 82 batters this year, 2nd most in the American League. And throws high, so he's lost his perfect game as he walks the leadoff batter, Adam Kennedy, here in the 6th inning.
Start little right there. Nice look by Adam Kennedy. Nice and patient with the strike zone. Make him get the ball down, because one of Zito's strengths, because of that reputation with a big rainbow curveball, you will see more hitters go after high fastball. They're expecting it to come down, but because it's not 95, it looks similar in rotation.
So this is the first time today that Barry Zito has pitched from the stretch. He goes upstairs to Jose Molina.
There it is. Because guys are so aware of that curveball, you have a tendency to look up, raise your shoulder a little bit, and wait for the break.
Kennedy does not go, and Molina takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kennedy a threat to go. He stole his 22nd base, most of the Angels last night. Jose Molina lines out to Mark Ellis. Another one of those moments during a no-hitter.
No question. I mean, when you have gone this far without allowing a hit, these kind of things need to happen. Just a great piece of hitting by Jose Molina, going the other way, and a nice changeup, low and away. Adam Kennedy again does a nice job just freezing. No outs. You just have to freeze as much as you can.
Zito now faces Alfredo Amezago, who goes after the high heat. Strike 1.
You know you've done your job, but look at the reaction. Oof. Hey, I couldn't have done anything better against a changeup in the kind of situation we're in. What is he doing playing there?
Alfredo takes up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Barry Zito grew up in the San Diego area, went to University High School, and then on to the University of California, Santa Barbara, transferred to L.A. Pierce Junior College, then to USC. Meziga shows bunt, pulls it back. It's 2-1.
This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you see hitters right from this angle. With a guy like a Barry Zito, the big curveball, Tom Gordon used to talk to me about this a lot. You will see guys, because they're waiting for that curveball to come down like this, go after this fastball, and you have to make sure you keep the shoulder going down, not up. Tom Gordon now with the Chicago White Sox used to come and talk to me on the bench when I was with the Royals and say, watch how many guys go after my high fastball, even if it's 84 miles an hour, and they'll miss it because they're buckling, thinking here comes a big hook.
Aaron Seeley will get away with a few high fastballs because of the respect for his curveball.
Greg Maddux can live up there too once in a while when he wants it. Not that he can make a living up there, but he can make some pitches up there and get you out, wondering how you swung it out and how you missed it.
Ground ball in the hole, and there's the first hit of the game. The first hit of the game by an Anaheim Angel off Barry Zito. It comes after 5 1/3 innings of no-hit baseball.
Oh, Alfredo will not forget this. I mean, this is a special moment for him. I mean, for his ball club. Not only the base hit, but he gets himself an opportunity to stay right down to that pitch. You see that? Not looking for that hook, just staying nice and fluid, thinking up the middle, reacting very well. Now he represents the tying run.
And the history will continue, as there has never been a no-hitter thrown by a pitcher whose last name starts with the letter Z. Not tonight for Barry Zito. As far as we can tell, none thrown by pitchers whose last names start with I, O, Q, or U. Or sometimes Y? No. Cy Young got one. Eckstein rolls one to second, and Mark Ellis, and they slam into each other, so Meziga is out. Eckstein will be safe at first base.
Tell you what, it's a tough call only because the ball is not hit really hard, and it's kind of those in-betweeners. Mike Scioscia wants to know, what is my base runner supposed to do in that type of situation? And I think Mike Scioscia also understands the fact that Mark Ellis is the one who has to decide if he has to stop or not or come after the ball. So it's one where Ed Montague is going to have his hands full right here, but he had no doubt right away in saying the guy that was running is the guy that cost it. Watch Mark Ellis. He's going to come after the ball. And what Montague is saying, that Meziga maybe had time to create his own baseline, I just don't see that happening. It was too close. Bang, bang. When the ball's getting there, so is Meziga.
We have seen the umpires call the Angels out twice in this game on decisions by the umpires. One right here in the earlier, Eric Owens bunting out of the box, out of the batter's box.
Because the other thing is, if maybe he thought Meziga had time to go behind Ellis, at that point, if Ellis stays back, then we would have seen a collision too, because Meziga would have been thinking, I got to go behind this guy. He's not going to cut the ball off. If I go straight, which was his original thought, why not just look for the bag and stay straight? I mean, right there, he's not thinking about going around this way because it looks like Ellis is coming straight through, even to cut the ball even more.
And the other problem is that Adam Kennedy has to report back to second base. So there's no advance by the base runners.
I mean, you have nowhere to go right there. You cannot react to what the second baseman does in a situation like this where you don't see the second baseman with enough time with the ball.
Here is Sean Figgins. Angels down 2-0. Figgins takes outside, ball one. Figgins 0 for 2 with a pair of pop-ups. One to first, one to the catcher. He's been outstanding with men in scoring position. Kennedy, second base. He's in scoring position. David Eckstein at first base has a huge lead. And if they were thinking about double steal, the only chance they had was Kennedy going to third, because they're playing behind David Eckstein, so he has a huge lead at first base. Kennedy was drifting away from second. He does not go, and Figgins waves of the off-speed, strike one. We have one final in the major leagues. Chicago's Cubs beat the New York Mets 2-0. Helps out the Cubs' chances of catching the Astros in the National League Central. That ball popped foul, and Chavez will not have a chance. Figgins stays down 1 ball, 2 strikes, but the Cubs now within 1 game of first place Houston in the National League Central.
They started at 1.5 today.
Kerry Wood got that shutout, and he and Pryor have been outstanding. Pryor won his 16th last night. The 1-2. Figgins takes outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
They have gotten some good outings of the fourth, including Clement and Zambrano. At a time when it really counts for Dusty Baker.
Figgins It's a sharp play. Tejada has it. He throws out Biggins and just barely at first base. So Zito shut out baseball, but he loses the no-hitter in the 6th inning. It's 2-0 Oakland. Alfredo Amezaga breaks up Barry Zito's no-hitter in the 6th inning. So here we go. Key Major League Baseball games tonight. Mercedes-Benz has the A's in the hunt. White Sox are at the Twins. Minnesota leads the American League Central by a game and a half. Mariners at the Rangers. Seattle trails the A's. They've been fading by 4.5 games. In other key games, Cubs beat the Mets today. That was an important one as Kerry Wood won his 13th game. The Astros are at the Rockies. Brewers at the Cardinals, and Diamondbacks at the Dodgers. The Dodgers 2.5 back in that National League wild card chase. Here is Scott Hatteberg. Hatteberg 1 for 2 with a double. And he lifts this one in the air down the left side. Anderson foul territory, makes the catch for the first out. And we're seeing Scott Shields' best start in more than a month, Jose. The last time he went this deep was against the Chicago White Sox when he beat the Sox 5-1 on August 14th.
Well, we saw the good start with a good running fastball that he needs that late movement out. We talked about a lot earlier, but we also have seen him rebound from a tough 2nd inning, find himself again, going back to the strength of working fast, throwing strikes on that first pitch.
55 of the 81 pitches that he threw before this inning were strikes. And he throws strike 1 to Ramon Hernandez, who is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. We're talking with Mike Scioscia about Scott Shields before the ball game. There's a ground ball hit to third. Meziga spins, fires, and he's had a nice defensive game. Tomorrow, the Los Angeles Kings return to the ice. They take on Sergei Fedorov and the defending Western Conference champion Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Coverage begins at 7:30 right here on Fox Sports Net. I asked Mike Scioscia, Angels manager, about Scott Shields what his keys would be, and he said maintaining his stuff. He said getting into a major league starter's mentality. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, when he faces guys the 2nd and 3rd time through the order, like right now, sometimes he gets locked into one pitch, one location. We've seen him change up from the first time through the order to now the 2nd and 3rd.
Also not trying to manufacture something that is not there. And Scott Shields told me, I need to learn how to pitch at 88, 90, because when I come out of the bullpen fresh, I know I could be 91, 93, but 88, 90 is where I know I'm going to be more than likely if I'm a starter for 6 months.
And his ball moves a lot more at lower velocity. Jermaine Dye takes it. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's another key today right there. That rolling curveball, he's not pushing it, so it's not rolling into the strike zone. You know what I'm saying? Not flatting out. He's making a nice finish by taking some balls off.
Shields strikes out Dye. He is through 7, 2 runs allowed. Some great baseball thrown by Scott Shields. Now the Angels need to dent Barry Zito with some runs. Zito shutting out the Angels 2-0 going to the last of the 7th. Hey, join the 3 million fan celebration. All fans at the game will receive a stadium exclusive 3 million fan t-shirt courtesy of AmeriQuest. Plus 3 lucky fans will be given a chance to win Angels season tickets, a membership to 24-hour fitness, a 50-inch Panasonic Plasma HD TV from Paul's TV, and a grand prize of $1 million. Are you kidding me? Visit angelsbaseball.com for more information. The Angels broke their single season attendance mark today, and there's a base hit by Garrett Anderson into right field. Good start for the Angels. 195th hit by GA, 5 shy of 200. Well, the Angels needed 12,370, and they must average just under 30,000 in their final 7 home games, including today. They need 205,000 to reach 3 million. So you can be part of the record-setting moment and have a chance to win some great prizes. Tim Salmon goes after the first pitch by Barry Zito, pops it foul, strike 1.
Greater chance to live some of the magic moments, hopefully spoiling some teams towards the end, and carry on that momentum towards next year. Get a taste of Edison if you haven't been here. Just enjoy yourself. It's a magical place, and Tell you what, I expect more magical moments in 04.
I think it's a great family bonding experience. I love the shots on Sunday afternoons, 1 o'clock games with mom and dad with their kids, and they're talking. They're not sitting in front of the TV set or in front of their Game Boy. They are sitting and talking about the wonderful game of baseball.
Open, natural grass.
Boy, do I sound like a dad or what?
Well, you are. No, they're not.
2 teenagers.
Well, sending the teenagers up on Tuesdays up in the upper view. Why not?
Oh, so
with their buddies. I said Tuesdays. I didn't
so
say every day.
You and mom can visit alone.
Why not?
I thought you'd want to teach them the grand game of baseball.
For about 3 innings.
There you go. I can imagine your conversations. Okay, Joey, Garrett Anderson's at first base. Tim Salmon's out. The count's 1 and 2. What do you think you should throw to him?
Joey's a lefty too, so he'll go. I'll throw that cut fastball in there.
Okay. Good answer. See, now we're bonding. This is family bonding experience. Salmon checks his swing. He did not go. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tell you what, the way Tim's approaching this at bat, Zito's got to be very careful on hanging breaking balls. Salmon has stayed back real well this whole series. You know, he loves facing the Oakland A's pitchers.
Eight of his 17 home runs this year against Oakland. He takes outside and high. The count's full, 3 and 2. Zito has only walked 1 batter. Now remember, he came into this contest with the 2nd most in the American League, 82. He walked his 83rd Kennedy to start the 6th to break up his perfect game. Garrett goes. The pitch swung on, foul back. Mike making this an action situation, sending Garrett Anderson here in the 7th. He knows Zito's going to come with a strike. Salmon's going to get a pitch to hit. Tim does not want to strike out. Zito has struck out 3 in the ball game. Garrett goes. Tim swings and hits it in the air left side. Terrence Long under it, makes the catch for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning.
Angels bullpen getting busy with Kevin Gregg out there.
Gregg on the left, Buchek on the right. Here is Scott Spiezio. Well, he's had some tough times against Barry Zito. He's only 2 for 22 in his career against Zito. But of course, he was only 1 for 13 against Jim Messier before hitting that walk-off home run last night. A strike makes it 1-1.
Anytime you walk out to the plate, your weapon is your bat. That's your only defense in the batter spot. So it doesn't matter what the numbers say. You always say, if I have another opportunity, I got to make the most out of it. Obviously, if that's not against Messier, he got to pitch up, and it's not the pitch that Messier is trying to get him out with, the fastball. He's trying to set him up with that fastball to throw that screwball.
To somehow find a way of getting that sweet part of the bat on that baseball. Zito has thrown 79 pitches, great for the 7th inning. He's averaging about 9 pitches an inning through 4. Spiezio takes a strike. It's 1-2.
He has thrown Scott a lot of changeups, but lately that curveball also. He knows Spiez is committed a little bit out front. He can read that body over there at the plate and try to exploit those weak points as much as he can.
They'll work him away. Scott just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think that might have been just one of those show me pitches. Let's see if he goes after outside fastball. Set him up for something else.
Outside corner, strike 3.
Got him looking for that off speed. Comes back away right there. He doubled up, Steve, just like you say. Look at this pitch. Hitting the outer half. Not a changeup, not a curveball, but aggressive fastball, well located. About 88, 89 miles an hour.
Beautiful pitch. Fourth strikeout for Zito in this ball game. Scott sits. Eric Owens digs in and takes ball one. Owens has been one of the hottest hitters in the game since August 1st. Hitting almost 380. It's 25 games, even better than that at 392. It's in the dirt. Hernandez has to work around Owens. That keeps Anderson at first base. Angels haven't had many scoring opportunities in this game. Their best came in the 6th inning when they had runners in first and second, one out. David Eckstein hit into a fielder's choice. There was interference on the play, and Figgins grounded out. In there, strike one. Oakland began today's game with a 4.5 game lead on Seattle. Seattle has been fading lately, losing their last 3, and tonight they send Jamie Moyer after his 19th win at Texas and Ryan Dries. Owens fouls it off. 2-2.
You know, a lot of times a guy like Barry Zito, we start thinking with the hitter's mentality, saying, well, if he has a nice changeup, he has a good curveball, well, he needs to pitch inside a little bit more with a fastball. But in a game like today, when he's telling himself, if it's working outside and I still have him guessing on that curveball and that changeup, why change? I might try to go inside, be a hero, and I'll be taken deep.
Tom Glavins's won a lot of games with that mentality, and a lot of times you'll find out what the umpire will give you. And Brian Runge has been giving both Zito and Shields that outside corner with right-handers. Owens swings and misses and strikes out. Through 7 innings, Barry Zito has allowed the Angels only 2 hits. Shields has to keep on matching them. Jack in the Box game summary. Barry Zito perfect through 5. Scott Shields 2 runs allowed in 7. Both runs came in the second. Oakland has 4 hits, all of them doubles. So Scott Shields will dig in for his 8th inning of work. He has pitched beautiful baseball outside that 1 inning where he gave up 3 of the doubles. Drove in 2 runs. Billy McMillan drove in a run with a double, and then he slid hard into second base, jamming his fingers, so he left the game after the end of that inning. And Terrence Long, who's batting now, took over for him.
I mean, Steve, Billy McMillan has been so good against the Angels that Ken Maka wants to get him in there against the righty. Gets 1 at bat.
And he doubles.
He does the damage. RBI double.
He's looked like Willie McCovey against the Angels this year. He has 6 home runs, 2 against everybody else, and 4 against Anaheim. Long takes inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 games this afternoon outside of the Angels facing the A's. The Cubs beat the Mets 2-0 to creep a little closer in the National League Central. Kerry Wood for Al Leiter. Long ground ball. Spezio has it. Shields will cover, and Spezio just kind of floated one over there to him and gets the first out. Here are the highlights.
Well, Zito working up and away on Garrett Anderson. He come back and also work away on the righty and Scott Spezio, just mixing the pitch as well, but he also needs a little help from his friends. Tejada, Chavez at the other one, Hatterberg, and now to break it up for him, Alfredo Amezaga steps up with a single through the left side.
5 1/3 innings of no-hit baseball by Zito. He's now allowed 2 hits through 7, shutting out the Angels. Oakland has an 11-8 series lead. The Angels snapped a 4-game losing streak to Oakland last night. Eric Burns steps up with 1 out and swings and chops it off of his foot. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Talk about 11-8. I mean, that's 19 games against this team. It just doesn't seem like it, really.
This is the last, the 20th. And we were talking about the old days when they had the 154 game schedule and they had 8 teams in each league and they played 19 games against each other back then. But it was a balanced schedule.
Balanced schedule, different travel conditions too.
I like the unbalanced schedule. I like the fact that you're playing the teams you have to beat in September, the last 2, in some cases 3 weeks of the season.
Especially in this division. I mean, the places you get to visit and play good ball against, you know, in traditional Oakland is going to be good. You know that.
Burns went around and strikes out. That is the 6th strikeout for Scott Shields in one of his best starts this year. Our Lexus Angels remaining schedule. Why not be the guy who breaks the 3 million mark at Edison International Field? The Angels go to Texas Friday through Sunday, then come home for a 6-game homestand to finish the year against Seattle and against Texas. They broke the all-time attendance mark today with 2,827,494. That's the total right now. Today they got 32,503. And you see the old record set at 82. They have to average less than 29,000 per game the rest of the way. I think they're going to do that. What's your prediction going to be?
3,075,000. By the way, congratulations. Just a great feat by Angels fans.
Kennedy, nice play. He gets Mark Ellis. Wonderful pitching by Scott Shields this afternoon. 8 innings of 2-run baseball. Bottom of the 8th inning, Oakland has a 2-0 lead over the Anaheim Angels. Crowd of better than 30,000 on hand at Edison Field, and they've seen a heck of a pitching duel. Our Bank of America higher standards on this date in history. 1984, Reggie Jackson hit his 500th home run, and it came right here at the Big A.
Steve, I love that bat flip. You see that?
Bat speed, huh?
You see that?
Born with that. Also hit his first career home run on September 17th. Adam Kennedy will lead things off against Barry Zito, and he takes outside. Zito had a perfect game through 5 innings, and then the first base runner he allowed. Adam Kennedy walked to start the 6th. Adam takes high, 2 balls and no strikes. You know, speaking of baseball history, did you hear baseball lost Wilbur Snap at the age of 83? What record does he hold? Wilbur Snap is the only organist ever to be thrown out of a professional baseball game. And you say, how did that happen? How can an organist be thrown out of a game? Eric Chavez will take care of Adam Kennedy. Well, he was the organist for the Clearwater Phillies game in 1985. And the umpires made a very controversial decision. So the organist played 3 blind mice when they got together and discussed it. And they pointed to the organist and they said, "You are out of here.
See you later."
The only organist ever to be thrown out of the game.
I've seen that happen with a PA guy in El Paso.
What happened?
Tossed him out of the game. The umpires out of there.
What did the PA guy say?
He would talk between pitches. I mean, look at this pitch coming up. Every single thing you can think about. But look at the umpire. Look at his shirt. I mean, he's real sweaty. Look at him. And he said something about a play at first base. Tossed him.
Sean Wooten pinch hits and pops up. Mark Ellis calls off Tejada for the 2nd out.
Yes, I've seen things like that happen.
Gear up for the stretch run with a great selection of Major League Baseball authentic collection caps, home and road jerseys, and everything else you need to enjoy the game. Shop angelsbaseball.com for all things baseball. Alfredo Amezia broke up Barry Zito's no-hitter back in the 6th inning. Zito with a no-hitter for 5 1/3 innings today. I heard of a situation, Jose, where an umpire was getting razzed in a minor league game in Denver. He was taking all kinds of grief from an abusive fan, what he thought was an abusive fan, and he turned around and he walked back and he said, "I bet the person who's been shouting at me doesn't have the courage to stand up and confront me right now. So who's ever been saying the bad thing, stand up." The whole stadium stood up.
Chavez smartly was playing in, still looking for the bunt from Amezaga. Now he backs off with 2 strikes. He doesn't want to risk it. He wants some coverage. Even though Amezaga went that way with his base hit.
Amezaga with 2 strikes on him now calls time. Outside 1-2. And on the 99th pitch of the game, Zito gets a curveball that drops in the strike zone to strike out Alfredo Amezaga. We head to the 9th. It's Oakland 2, the Angels nothing. Oakland has a 2-0 lead over the Angels. Coming up this evening, the Southern California Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to the home teams throughout Southern California. Last night, great reports on Major League Baseball and the Dodgers and the Angels. And tonight, the Angels. USC gives Booty a shot and lingerie bowl party. I don't want to even ask. Scott Shields. Afternoon is over. What a game. He pitched 8 innings, 2 runs allowed, did not walk a batter, and struck out 6.
That is the key. Look at the 4 base hits, 4 doubles, but here's where you keep runners off bases, by controlling the strike zone yourself and working ahead of the count. Nice job today by Scott.
Sean Wooten takes over as the new catcher after a pinch hit for Jose Molina. And the new pitcher is Ben Weber, 61st game this year, a fine .276 earned run average. And with that double pump, nobody on, and he throws ball 1 to Rubio Durazo. Wooten takes over for Jose. Angels have off tomorrow, then they travel to Texas. Take on the Rangers in the 3-game series. John Lackey will throw for the Halos tomorrow on Friday. Ground ball hit to Scott Spezio. Weber covers, 1 out. Our Nextel direct connect to this ball game. How about Amezaga connecting with Ellis? Ellis
connecting
towards the out.
Amezaga. He gets the out. Amezaga's going, what? Me? I didn't do anything, man.
He was in the baseline.
Like, I'm an infielder. I know what's going on. Well, we've seen some nasty collisions like that. Mark Fire, remember that one? Cubs pitcher flipping over there between first and second, hurting his shoulder.
Pitchers should know better. Don't get involved with collisions like that.
They're not
Just
trying.
head back to the dugout.
They're not trying. Trust me, it's an instinct thing.
It's that competitive instinct.
That's right.
Chavez. Ground ball, Spezio. He'll take it himself, and 2 quick outs. Join the Angels for Fan Appreciation Day on Sunday, September 28th. You could win great prizes such as a fantasy ownership of a racehorse courtesy of Los Alamitos Racecourse, Omega Watch courtesy of Swiss Watch Gallery, and more. Plus, all fans in attendance will receive an Angels 2003 team photo courtesy of Valley Crest Companies. 714-663-9000, number to call. Ben Weber throws strike 1 to Miguel Tejada. Tejada 1 for 3 with a double, a run scored in that 2-run second inning. That's all we have seen in this game. Great pitching by Shields and Zito. I told you the Cubs beat the Mets today 2-0. Kerry Wood won his 13th. And Atlanta is leading Montreal 5-0. That's a big game for the Expos, who are still in the wild card chase. Montreal 7 back and fading fast, but they were hoping in 2 weeks maybe they could run off some wins. It doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Well, Atlanta's got a guy on the mound today that's been throwing real well. They've been waiting for this for a couple of years. Mike Hampton.
Yeah.
Finally found that sinker.
5-0 lead for Hampton in the fourth.
Leo Mazzoni says that is the best sinker I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot to talk about right there.
Ramon Ortiz was telling me he thinks the best sinker he's seen in the American League is either Derek Lowe or Scott Shields. And when he said Scott Shields, I said, really? And Ramon says, oh yeah, how about, he goes, that one that I want to get, he said, is the one that runs back into a left-hand where it looks like it's going to come inside and then will bite back into the strike zone.
On pitch that not everybody can throw, because you have to have the confidence that you're not going to hit the guy and that the ball will break. Kevin Millwood right now is one of the best at it.
Tejada ground ball to Meziga. He's been solid at third, and that's the final out. So the Angels, great pitching by both Shields and Weber, but they need offense. Only 2 hits against Barry. Spezio hit a 3-run home run to win it. Well, Scott Spezio is slated to hit 5th in this inning. If he's to come to the plate, there will be 2 guys on the base paths. David Eckstein will start things here in the 9th. Eckstein, Figgins, Garrett Anderson. Ball 1 to Eck. Eck is 0 for 3. Grounding out 3 times.
As long as you have at bats, you have a chance. He's got to throw some pitches. You make him work. Ready to get the ball down right here. You don't need base runners. He knows the pressure is on too.
And even Eckstein knows that Zito knows that David's taken here, and he does, and it's ball 3. Angel fans believe. They're starting to get stirred up. They've got Bradford warming up. They've got John Halama. They didn't pitch Keith Folk last night, and I'm surprised that Folk is not up in the bullpen. They gave him off last night. Jim Messier tried to close the game and gave up the 3-run home run to Scott Spezio to win it.
Well, sometimes in this case, your best pitching coach is your catcher. Zito's the one that initiated that visit by calling Hernandez over there to the mound, maybe see if he detected something.
In there, 3-1. Zito has now thrown 104 pitches in the game, 60 for strikes, 44 out of the zone. X taken again, ball 4. Tying runs coming to the plate now.
Get that leadoff guy on. A lot of things could happen. Now more pressure on the bullpen, and Ken Maka, when it comes to decisions, he's thinking, well, this guy's been so dominant. I got a more rested bullpen. I have the best closer in the American League, who, by the way, has had some back stiffness, Keith Folk. So what do I do? They're also seeing him for a 4th time here as hitter. So a lot of quick decisions that Ken Maka and Rick Peterson have to make. And also Scott Spezio, hidden weapon, is waiting.
A magical night last night as the Angels came from behind. Now Zito trying to complete his shutout, beat the Angels, and take a 5-game lead on Seattle in the American League West. And Maka's team won game 1 7-4. Lost last night 6-5. Leading game 3 2-0. Figgins takes inside, and Eck was about a quarter of the way down the line and said, you know, I better not take a chance here.
Don't need to force it right here. You know the guy's in trouble. Your run right now is not going to tie the ball again, so you cannot take a chance right there.
Two balls and no strikes. Zito has thrown 7 pitches in this inning, and only 1 has caught the strike zone. Peterson with a look at Ken Maka. The guy's ready. Barry brings it. Figgins takes the strike, 2-1. strike 2. So Zito has fought back from a 2-0 count to even it at 2-2, and Ramon Ortiz has his rally cap going. Now he'll bury his face. He does not want to see Zito's next pitch to Sean Figgins. Checks his swing. Did not go. Counts full, 3-2.
Zito, he's not afraid to talk to himself right here. You watch him talk to himself as he's delivering a pitch to home plate.
Figgins taps one right back to Zito. They've got a chance for 2, but he throws it into center field. Eckstein races to third. The Angels have a chance.
Scott Shields right now. We see Barry Zito in a tight situation, unable to make what it looked like just a routine 1-6-3. Let's look at his body, where he falls and where he is when he makes a throw. He's a little bit off balance right there. That's why the ball runs so much away from Tejada, who at the last minute even thought about grabbing it bare hand.
Tejada, Zito visit. Zito obviously will stay in the game because Garrett Anderson's coming up. Garrett 1 for 3 in this game, and Maka wants the lefty-lefty matchup. Figgins, terrific speed at first base. They want Garrett to swing, though. Garrett swings and hits it high in the air, deep to right field. Back is Jermaine Dye to pull it down. Figgins tags, doesn't go. Eckstein tags and does go and scores the Angels' first run of this game. G.A. missed a home run by just about a quarter of an inch on that swing. And the Angels now within 1 as Garrett drives in his 116th run this year.
He gets a pitch that he wants, maybe just a little bit out in front in that. The tip of the bat, he knows he got it well, but not good enough for it to be a home run. All you want right there, get the sac fly. You got enough depth on that. Good situational hitting, gets the job done.
Zito out. Maka goes to the bullpen. Barry, a gem of a game, but it's not over yet. Barry Zito's afternoon is over. He just hopes Oakland can hang on to beat the Angels 2-1. Bottom of the 9th inning, 1 out, tying run at first base. This fall, 8 teams will compete to see what will be this year's historic moment, who will make the next unforgettable play, and what team will take home baseball's ultimate prize. Fox Sports brings you baseball's division series and then becomes the exclusive home to the championship and the World Series. It all begins September 30th here on Fox. Zito's afternoon is over, but the man at first base belongs to him and Sean Figgins, who reached on his error. If he doesn't make this error, this game is over.
Well, we could be thinking about the walk, but this is the one thing that's eating him right now. This was going to be 2 outs, but unable to play fundamental baseball. Ball running away from him. Nice pop-up slide by David Eckstein also enables him to get to third base.
Chad Bradford's the new pitcher. This is game number 68 for Chad. He's very good against right-handers. And he will face a right-hander in the Angels' Tim Salmon. Right-handers only hitting 189 against Bradford this year. Tim wants him to force the ball up in the strike zone so he doesn't hit it in the ground and finish the game with a double play. He'll take ball 1 inside.
You want to try to get him up in the zone, but also if it starts in the strike zone or approaching the strike zone, most likely it'll be in on your hands as a ball. Be very careful when you see something inside that opens your eyes and you're thinking power, because Bradford's always thinking, I want you to swing on it because I don't want to break your bat.
It's off Bradford's glove. He has time to get just one-man Salmon at first base when he could have gotten the double play because Figgins was off the bag, but he dropped the baseball and only can get Tim Salmon at first base. So it's time to face last night's hero, Scott Spiezio. Spiezio came up in the 9th inning with 2 on and blasted a game-winning 3-run home run into the seats in right field. Out of the jaws of defeat, the Angels snared a victory. Let's go, Spiezio.
Here's a chance to do it again. A little more careful now, Hernandez and Kenmacher.
How about that? 5 walk-off hits in 4 years with the Angels. They may bring the left-hander to turn Scott Spiezio around to bat from the right side. Maka makes the long walk to the mound. He had one left-hander, John Halama, warming up in the bullpen. And they're having a long conversation here. So I tell you, Jose, that tells me that it's not going to be Halama, because Halama had already warmed up. Jim Messier is warming up.
Well,
Messier gave up the 3-run home run last night.
That's right. And Scott Spiezio also presents a big problem for Ken Maka, because he is a switch hitter in that situation. You want to go with something that tells you, hey, what is the best matchup for me in the bullpen? But the dilemma is last night's ball game, what he did against Messier, and you cannot look in the situation at what he has done against lefties, because he will be stronger in a type of chance like this because what it presents. And also, John Halama is not a hard-throwing left-hander.
Ken Maka probably asked Chad Bradford, do you feel more comfortable pitching to Scott Spiezio or Eric Owens? And the answer was Eric Owens. Spiezio, with the game winner last night, will be intentionally walked. Eric Owens is on deck. Eric looking to Mike Scioscia to see if Mike's going to make a decision on a change here. He could bring in Jeff DeBannon, but then Maka might counter and bring on John Halama.
Halama, because he's a lefty. So he actually puts on base the go-ahead run for the winning run for the Angels.
Jeff DeBannon will be the batter. No move by Maka to force DeBannon to bat from the right side. Jeff much better hitter from the left side than he is from the right. Right now, it looks like they're going to stay with Bradford. 2 outs in the inning. Last of the 9th inning. DeBannon 11 home runs this year, and most have come from this side of the plate. And here comes Ken Maka now. DeBannon with 9 of his 11 home runs from the left side of the plate. Maka with the move, and it will be Jim Messier. Messier with that screwball to face Jeff DeBannon. So Chad Bradford is out. Jim Messier, who could not close last night's Oakland victory and turned it into an Angel loss, an Angel win, will come right back. Barry Zito still staring in the face of his 13th win this year, but the Angels have 2 on and 2 out. Bottom of the 9th inning, hoping for some 9th inning magic like they had last night, and Mike Scioscia will keep Jeff DeBannon in the ball game to pinch hit against Jim Messier.
We'll talk about a situation where you want to go to your closer and you can't because of a stiff back.
The Angels will bring on a pinch runner for Scott Spiezio, Trent Durrington. So if DeBannon can just gap one, the Angels have a chance to win it. Biggins, great speed at second base. Durrington, very fine speed at first. Tejada stretching. First pitch to Jeff DeBannon is off the plate. Ball 1. A's need this win to move 5 games up on Seattle, who goes later tonight against the Texas Rangers. Shields, you bet he's interested. Pitched a heck of a ball game. Doesn't want to have an L to show for it.
Well, not right now. Jeff DeBannon knows you cannot go up there thinking home run. You got to be out there thinking, hey, up the middle the other way. If he makes a mistake in my wheelhouse, yes, spin on it. But we also saw Jeff DeBannon in a similar situation go the other way against the Royals in a very tight spot.
He hits it in the air. Center field. This should do it. Eric Burns under it. He makes the catch, and the A's take the series 2 victories to 1. Barry Zito wins his 13th this year. The loss goes to Scott Shields, and the save to Jim Messier. So Oakland does move 5 games up on Seattle in the American League West. Barry Zito, our Gatorade player of the game. He threw a no-hitter for 5 1/3 innings, and Jose Mota, he had it going today.
He found it early. There's no doubt about it. He's able to work up in the strike zone against Garrett Anderson, running away with that fastball. Comes back also, that nice little tight slider in the outer half against Spezio. Gets him away with a fastball. Alfredo Messier sees that rainbow. He doesn't believe it. It's a strikeout. Broke a little bit higher, but he got the strike zone.
We'll take a break as Barry Zito beats Scott Shields and the Angels. 2-1 the final score as the Angels make it dramatic again in the 9th inning. Fox Sports Net presents Anaheim Angels baseball, brought to you by Hyundai. When your car comes with America's best warranty, you win. By Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. And by the all-new 2004 Ford F-150. Angels lose the final game of the year to the Oakland Athletics 2-1. Barry Zito wins his 13th. Scott Shields takes his 6th loss. Jim Messier with his first save of the year. And the Angels now head to Texas for a 3-game series. John Lackey will face R.A. Dickey. But today, too much Barry Zito and Miguel Tejada. That will do it from Edison Field in Anaheim. Final score 2-1 Oakland. For my partner Jose Mota, I'm Steve Physiak. Now stay tuned for You Gotta See This. That's coming up next. Have a great afternoon, everyone.